The seconds and the traitors meet. The Death Guard, dark and bloated specters in the welter of dust, do not charge to meet the Templar force in any disciplined formation. To Sigismund, the enemy mass seems to ooze forward, swelling, puffing outward like some ballooning fungus or a fast-spreading mold. The wasteland air is so dry, the stink of the enemy is peculiarly intense. As ranges close, weapons fire escalates. Pintle mounts start to drum, making streams of heavy lass and tracer dance and spit. Small arms open up and bolters too. The space between the two armies is suddenly frantic with exchanging fire. Men start to drop, knocked out of the foot columns behind the tanks. In the traitor host, storm shields ripple with impacts, and iron beasts wallop over with the clatter of plate. Armies. It isn't two armies. Sigismund is fully aware of that. He's fielding a force that's outnumbered 6 or 7 to 1, perhaps more. His brigade is a fast combat unit. The enemy is a full compliance division. He can't win this, but he's laid plans carefully. If fate allows, he can hurt the enemy grievously before death claims him. Hurt them, as his father instructed. Mortarion's warriors have weight of numbers, and they are all Astartes. They possess a strange organic cohesion that seems to flow as one amorphous whole. Once again, Sigismund is reminded of creeping molds and mycotoxic mildews. His force, though far smaller and less than 50% Astartes, is fleet and disciplined. Every man in it knows his objective and has the autonomy to pursue it even if the chain of command is broken. His 4 cohorts are designed to furrow and split the enemy mass. A divided enemy can fall prey to confusion and poor reaction, and even the biggest army can become ineffective if its coordination is lost. The first cohort, the largest, rams into the Death Guard line, armor first. Dozer blades have been lowered, and the main guns, declined to their lowest angle, continue to fire, shelling pathways into the traitor mass. The Astartes, led by the Imperial Fist Huskarl Artolin, one of Sigismund's most trusted men, maintain firing for as long as possible, forming shield lines that follow the armor in. The shield lines cover the more vulnerable Excurtus and Auxilla squads. Sigismund has drilled these soldiers personally. They know to work as squads, for no human can tackle an Astartes alone. They function as packs, loaders and munitions bearers supporting the heavy crude weapons, some of which were salvaged from defeated Mechanicum forces. Each pack targets individual enemy Astartes like wolves on a bear, assaulting with lass and flamers, while the heavy weapons, plasmics, melters, and adrathics inflict serious damage. They know to keep killing until an enemy is dead before acquiring another target. It is a hard mindset to achieve because it makes them vulnerable, but those packs that can master the art score kills against foes that far outclass them. Even so, they die. Despite the spitting devastation of the armor's side mounts, the moving picket of Artolin's shield lines, and the precise headshots of the Stratic and Geno marksmen with their overcharged longlass, wherever the Death Guard breaks through, a pack is mauled and finished in seconds. The second cohort engages, then the third. Like the first, they have been struck at portions of the enemy line already weakened by the tread weapons, fissures in the Death Guard mass that they can wedge into and exploit. The second cohort drives into the right lateral extension of the enemy group, actually cutting the end of its line off from its main formation. The amputated section mills in gratifying disarray. The second cohort's guns punish it relentlessly. The Templar Auxaros, seconded by the fierce salamander Re Ekimar, holds second cohort true and turns to shave another section off the Death Guard mass. Third cohort, led by the Templar Antiochus, plows into the furrow its guns have made. Heavy lass and fusion mounts have superheated the ground, turning the dust into glass. Tank tracks grind over Death Guard plate made brittle by blast heat. Antiochus's Excurtus pack follow him in as Artolin's followed him. They carry grenades and anti-armor launchers repurposed for Astartes killing. Sigismund's fourth cohort, the smallest, meets the Death Guard surge left of the central formation. Like each of the other intersections, he has planned this carefully. The others are designed to subdivide the mass and break its cohesion, or sow destruction into the densest formations. But there are other ways to disrupt an army too. You go for the head, and that's what Sigismund is good at, head wounds. His retinue crashes through the Death Guard shield wall. His lieutenants, Pontus of the Templar Brethren and Faustul, the Iron Hands Cataphracti, flank him. Myrinics of the temple and the Fenrisian Janjar are at his heels. Their blades and bolters tear the pale king's bloated, seeping warriors off their feet. There are flies everywhere, thicker than dust, their black bodies glinting like glass beads in the desert light, but Sigismund can see his target, Skolitas Gareg, the Cadaver Lord, the gigantic and monstrous commander of the enemy hosts. As he hacks through the enemy ranks to reach him, Sigismund raises the black sword to his brow in brief salute.